Today I want to talk about the real reasons you are unable to sell your property quickly, unable to sell your property fast in today's property market, especially in Malaysia. To really understand the real reason, we have to look back around in time period of 2009 and 2010. Second thing is it boils down to this what we call as a very natural law of supply and demand. It's increasing cases of foreclosures in the market. Now foreclosure it happens when property owner, whether it's a owner occupied or an investor, cannot afford to service their loan anymore, which we call as defaulting on their loan payment. So that is where banks come and foreclose the property, like lelong. You're going to the auction, right? Bank confiscate their property. But here's the domino effect or the avalanche effect it has. It actually drives the price down. No money down deals, people just, there's a easy credit banks, you can borrow money easily in 2009 or 2010, and people just buy multiple properties, take multiple loans. Developer have this what we call as a DIBS, developer interest bearing scheme. You literally do not need to use a single cent of your money to buy a property, and so people keep on buying. Banks, according to this article, it says that banks at the point of time when they lend out money, they approve this loan for this property, they are actually unable to discover what are the real prices of this property which they are dispersing loan to. Now, who wins in this equation? Property developers are the one winning, because they already make the sale. That's it. The banks actually flow the money from the banks themselves and then to property developer. Property developer also make good profit, laughing all the way to the bank. So bank, of course, for this debt, for a bank it is an asset, but for the property buyer it is a liability. So now it's between the property buyer and the banks, right? So what happened is that now with this back in more than 10 years ago, there's this very hot market. Banks just lend out money indiscriminately, only based on the sales and purchase agreement price, without knowing the real value of this property. Bank just never do that kind of due diligence, and so that that's the selling price of what is stated in this sales and purchase agreement for these properties, real estate property, they are all inflated with all freebies like air cons, and all the values are getting inflated over inside. Plus there's a cash rebate. Bankers are very happy they can meet their sales target. Investor club start to mushroom because they are making these deals with property developer and then selling that back to the members on the pretext that they are getting the property. The investor club, the members are getting a discount. And fact number 2 is that a lot of people are very daring. They use loan compression strategy, or what we call as a multiple loan submission strategy. Now, you want to know more about what this strategy is in detail, click on the other video that's popping up over here. But basically, it is about you starting to buy one unit and then you go and apply 5 loans. Now imagine 5 of those loans for that one unit you just put deposit on. All these 5 loans are approved, and now you go back to the property developer and say that you want, instead of buying 1 unit and take one of the loan that was approved, you actually buy 5 units, and then you actually sign all 5 pre-approved loan offer at the same time, and then you get the cash rebate. And of course you get a cash rebate to cover for your monthly repayment for all these 5 loans. And it could last you for a few years, and then the intention is after a few years you actually resell it, what we call as flip your real estate property, and then you make profit from there. So this is what we call a property investing flipping strategy. You are technically cheating the bank, blindsiding the bank, because no banks will actually approve your loans if you already have, let's say, four more other loans which of the equivalent monthly repayment, because that will actually burst your debt service ratio already. Fast forward 10 years, banks actually admit that at that point of time, right, they just disperse the loans as per the sales and purchase agreement price. whatever the developer feel is the price they want to sell. Banks never do a valuation. They just disperse the loan and get that loan approved just without any valuation process of the real estate property. Banks are a lot smarter nowadays, but the damage is already done. Now banks are feeling the heat because once the property buyer, the loan borrower actually cannot repay the loan or default on the loan, banks come in and then they are going to foreclose that property. However, now the property value is much lower than the original loan amount, or even much lower than the outstanding loan amount. So even if banks were to sell this, long auction that out, they are not able to cover the full amount of the loan that the property buyer actually owe them. And this is a vicious cycle which makes you as a property owner that wants to sell your property fast not able to sell it, because in the market out there the price of the property are so depressed, and part of the reason is the increased number of these banks auction, or this increased number of foreclosed property, because it affects the value of your property. Just imagine you want to sell a property of 500,000, right? But the last transacted price of a similar unit in the same area like yours is only 300,000. Do you think you can actually sell that at the 500,000? Which is why now genuine property seller who want to sell the property, they even have to admit the fact that even real estate agent cannot help them much. As a final thing, if after able to sell, you have some profit, capital gain, cash flow, and you're thinking like, where should I reinvest this for cash flow? Now, likely buying another property in today's market is probably is not something that you want. Now, the best substitute alternative for direct property investing in today's market with all this uncertainty is what I call as a real estate investment trust, or REITs. Now, to understand what is a real estate investment trust, we locate the link below, register your spot in an online webcast where I share with you why in today's environment the best way to actually play or invest in property is not directly but actually through real estate investment trust. As a certified financial planner, as an independent financial planner, I've been hired by corporate banks and financial institutions to give this kind of training exposure to their bankers. Check out my credibility over there, and that's all I have for you. Before you go, if you have any questions, just type in your questions below in the comment section. You find this useful, just click on the like button. I really appreciate that. It really helps to get this message out for more people. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.